Okay guys, today I'm gonna tell you some very important things to know when you're trying to get your emissions done. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is, if you have a check engine light like this car does, get that figured out. Get a code scanner or go to AutoZone or O'Reilly's and have them check the codes for you and see exactly what is going on, because most places will automatically fail you if you have a check engine light. And I will link a scanner in the description that I recommend. Okay, the next thing you want to do is perform an oil change, and the reason for that is carbon builds up in the engine's oil, and a fresh oil change will help ensure a cleaner burning engine. And a cleaner burning engine means less emissions. Okay, the next thing you want to do is inflate your tires to the proper level. If you have slightly higher air pressure in the tires, that'll make them easier to spin and cause less stress to your engine, which will enable it to burn cleaner at any given speed. So what you want to do is you want to open your driver's door, see if you can find a sticker, and that'll tell you exactly how high to fill your tires. So that's 32 psi for the front, 32 psi for the rear. So fill it to that, and that'll enable your engine to run at a more optimal level. Okay, the next thing you want to do is use a fuel additive. What a fuel additive is, it's a liquid that helps clean your combustion chamber of carbon deposits. So what you do is you buy the fuel additive, just put it in your gas and run the vehicle for 200 to 500 miles, or sometimes even less than that, and that'll clean your combustion chamber and enable the vehicle to run cleaner and clean up the carbon so that your car won't fail a smog check. Okay, the next thing you want to do is make sure you have your vehicle tested when it is at operating temperature. And to know if your vehicle is at operating temperature, look at your temperature gauge and make sure it's about in the middle. The reason for that is that a hot engine has more complete combustion, burning more hydrocarbons in the process. So in other words, a hotter engine will work more efficiently, thus you will have cleaner emissions with a hotter engine. And also, make sure you test it during a cool day, maybe like in the middle of the day rather than first thing in the morning or during a really hot day. The reason for that is an engine taking in cooler, denser air runs more efficiently. If you recently had your check engine light deleted or erased, you're gonna want to complete a drive cycle before you get your vehicle tested. And I have a video on the drive cycle that I'll link in the description. This is very important because otherwise your indicators won't be ready and you won't be able to pass. If your vehicle's battery has been recently disconnected, or if you needed to jump in order to start your car recently, like within the last couple days or 100 miles, we would recommend holding off on getting the smog check for at least 1 week while you drive your vehicle regularly. Chances are, while your vehicle's computer lost power, its internal self-test monitors were erased. Now those monitors take time to reset, complete. You pretty much have to do another complete drive cycle in order to get all those monitors ready. So if you did have any battery issues, replace your battery, or had a dead battery, that's something you want to think about too. If your engine's running rough and it's not running the way it should, that can make your emissions a lot worse. So what you want to do, if you have that issue, if you think you're having a misfire or if your engine isn't working correctly, do a tune-up on it. That could include replacing the spark plugs or the ignition coils or the wires, and see if that fixes it. Because if you do have a misfire or if your engine's running rough, most likely it's either eating too much fuel or getting too much air. And when that happens, your emissions won't be where they should be, and you could very possibly fail because of that. Okay, so the number one thing you want to remember before you get your vehicle checked is just make sure it's running good. If you see any issues with your vehicle, you know, low tires, check engine lights, if the engine isn't running correctly, just make sure you fix that stuff before you get your vehicle checked. No matter what you do, if your vehicle's running bad, you're just not going to be able to pass. So make sure you correct any issues you have before you take the test. That's the best way to pass your emissions on the first try. The best thing to do is just get a OBD2 scanner that also checks emissions readiness, and I will link those in the description. But that'll save you a lot of time and effort, and also gas if you do have to do a drive cycle, because you'll know exactly when the car is ready, and from there you can go to get it tested so you can get your emissions.